Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and if today is your first time, you are also welcome to my channel. My name is Edebo. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to sew this beautiful bubu gown with a deep neck cut, an elastic waistband at the waist, and a side slit. If this is something you're interested in, please keep on watching. So the basic things you'll be needing are 2 yards of duchess or crepe fabric. Yours can be more depending on your size. And the basic measurements you'll be needing for this tutorial are your waist length, your full length, your sleeve length, your hip circumference. So that's all on the basic measurements you need. We'll be moving on to the drafting of the gown. So I'll be folding my fabric in 4, 2 for the front and 2 for the back, okay? The gown do not have a zipper, okay? So I'll be coming down a little bit from the tip of the fabric. This will be my starting point where all my necessary measurements will start from and will be regarded as my shoulder line. The length of this fabric is actually my full length plus 1 inch for hem allowance, okay? So no need for me measuring it. I already measured it before I even started drafting, okay? On the starting line, I'll be measuring the neckline of my dress. I'll be coming in by 3 inches for the neck width, and then I will come down by 1 inch for my back neck depth, and I will connect the 1 inch to the 3 inches in a curve line with my curve ruler. And for the front neck depth, it has 2 neck depths, the round neck and the slit. I'll be coming down from the shoulder line for my full front neck depth. Mine is 8 inches, okay, and I will then come down by 3 inches for the round neck, and then I will connect it to the 3 inches width in a curve line with my curve ruler, okay? So I'll be coming in a little bit from the round neck by 0.5 inch, and then I will connect it to the full length of the neck depth this way. Okay, so that's all for the neck line. The next thing I'll be moving on to is the shoulder length and the sleeve length of my gown. I will first of all come in from the center front of the fabric by my shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2. Mine is 7 inches, okay, and then I will then come in by 10 inches from the 7 inches for my sleeve length, okay. And then on this new point, I'll be coming down by 1.5 inches for my shoulder slope because our shoulders are not straight but a little slopey. I will then connect that new point to the neck width in a straight line this way with my ruler. Okay, so from the shoulder slope, I will be coming down by 10 inches for my round sleeve. Okay, I will then draw a straight line on the fabric on that new point all the way to the fabric, okay? You can get yours by dividing your bust circumference divided by 4, and then you now add up 2 to 3 inches to the measurement you got. So I'll be drawing a straight line to connect the round sleeve to the shoulder slope with my ruler, okay? So the next thing I'll be doing is to impute my body measurement on this line. I'll be coming in for my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2.5 inches for ease, and I will then connect this new point all the way to the end of my fabric in a straight line. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. After I'm done connecting the line to the down of my fabric, the points that lead to the sleeve and the body of the gown, I'll just be curving it out a little bit this way so it will look more of a sleeve and not just straight. So for the imputing of my waistband, I will need to measure the waistline of my gown. So I'll be placing my tape directly on the shoulder line down to my waistline. Okay, now I'll mark it out. So that's where I'll be imputing the waistband for this gown. I will also be imputing a pocket to my dress. Okay, so I'll be coming down by 1 inch from my waistline, and I will also come down from that 1 inch by 6 inches for the opening of the pocket. Okay, and I'll connect the 2 points together in a curve line by placing my palm in between to get the curve I need for the pocket. Okay, and then I'll now connect the 2 points together. Just watch closely how I'm doing it. Okay. And that's all on the pocket. So for the down slit of the gown, I will be coming down from the hem of my fabric by 20 inches to get the down slit. Okay, you can make yours higher, you can make yours lower, whatever you choose, okay? And then I will now mark it. And that's all on the drafting, and I'll be cutting it out. I'll first of all start from the neckline. I'll be adding up 0.5 inch for joining allowance. I'll cut the back first, and I will remove it a little bit and then cut the front. But I won't be cutting out the slit for now. I'll bring back the back, and then I will then extend to the shoulder and the sleeve. I'll also be adding up 0.5 inch for joining allowance at the shoulder and the sleeve, and then I will add up 1 inch at the round sleeve for hem allowance. That's for folding of the sleeve also. Then I will cut the fabric out. And when I get to the waistline that I mark, I will notch it out because that's where I'm going to impute my waistband, okay? And then proceed to cutting out all the fabric. So the next thing I'll be doing is to cut an interfacing for the neckline, okay? I'll be cutting an interfacing that is long enough to accommodate the full neck depth of the front, okay, just like you're seeing in the video. And I'll make sure that the fabric is higher than the full neck depth by 3 to 4 inches. And then the upper part of the interfacing should be my shoulder length, okay? And then I will now cut the interfacing just like you are seeing in the video. And I'll also be doing the same thing to the back neck. I'll be placing and I'll be folding my fabric in two. And then I'll place it this way, making sure that the top of the interfacing is my shoulder length. And it should be longer than the neck depth of the back, okay? After I'm done cutting the interfacing, I'll be turning my neck with the interfacing I cut. I'll be placing the interfacing to the front neckline, right side facing each other, and I'll then pin it down. I'll also extend the 0.5 inch slit I made earlier on the side of the neckline. And I'll be sewing the both of them together from the round sleeve with a 0.5 inch joining allowance all the way to the end of the neck. And I'll also be doing the same thing to the back. I'll be placing the interfacing and the fabric and the gown directly facing each other at the neck, right side facing each other. Then I'll pin it and I'll sew them together with a 0.5 inch joining allowance. And this is it after I was done sewing them together. Next thing I'll be doing is to notch the allowance, okay? And also cut the center of the neckline all the way to where my thread stop, okay? And I'll also be going over to my machine to double stitch on the neckline with my machine. And I'll also be doing the same thing to the back. I'll be notching it out and then I will double stitch the allowance to the interfacing with my machine. And this is it after I was done double stitching on the interfacing. So the next thing I'll be doing is just to turn the right side out and give it a good press, okay? And then come back to show you guys, okay? So this is it after I was done ironing them properly. So the next thing I'll be doing is to join the front shoulder to the back shoulder, right side facing each other. And I will then sew the both of them together with a 0.5 inch joining allowance with my machine. So this is that I was done joining the shoulder and sewing them together. Next is to fold the hem of my sleeve, and I will be doing that by coming in 0.5 inch twice to eliminate the 1 inch joining allowance I added while drafting. And I will then sew them together, okay? I'll be doing the same thing to the other sleeve, and this is it that I was done sewing them together, okay? The next thing I'll be doing is to join the sides of my gown together. Before I will do that, I will need to get my elastic band ready. And for the elastic band for the back, I'll be bringing in another fabric, okay, and I will be cutting out a fabric 4 inches wide, and the length will be the full width of the back of my dress. I went back to measure the back width to get it right, and I'll be cutting that out, okay. I will then join the two sides of the fabric together and sew them together with a 0.5 inch joining allowance. So this is it after I was done. I'll be turning the right side out, okay? So this is it after I was done turning the right side, and then I iron it out properly, making sure that the center, the place I sew is at the center of the fabric. Next is to cut the length of the elastic I will be imputing. I'm using a 1 inch width elastic, and the length of the elastic will be my waist circumference divided by 4. Then I will now add up 1 inch for joining allowance. I will then insert the elastic in the band, okay? When I'm done inserting it, I will sew the end together with a 0.5 inch joining allowance with my machine. So this is it after I was done sewing the both ends of the elastic. I'll be bringing back my fabric and I will impute the elastic band directly to the waistline I notch on my fabric like this, making sure that the elastic stays at the center. And I will then pin it down and also do the same thing to the other side of the gown. For the down slit of the gown, I'll be coming up from the hem of the gown by 20 inches, including the hem allowance, okay, just like I did while drafting. That's how long I want my slit, okay. So the next thing I'll be doing is to sew the two sides of the gown from the sleeve down to the starting of the down slit with a 0.5 inch joining allowance, okay. Now I'll be doing the same thing to the other side, and this is it after I was done joining them together all the way to the slit. The next thing I'll be doing is to sew the slit by folding it up this way and then sew from one side of the hem to the other side of the hem with my sewing machine this way. Okay, and this is it after I was done sewing the slit. Next thing I'll be doing is to sew the hem of my gown to eliminate the 1 inch I added for my hemming allowance. Okay, and this is it after I was done sewing it. I'll be turning the right side of the fabric out. Okay, and this is the final result after I was done with everything. Okay, thank you so much for staying through. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.